Hello, dear friends. Trying to understand this blows your mind, but you can feel it. Opinion piece: reverse time, reverse clock, negative time, reverse time travel, exit before entering, cause effect reversal, effect precedes cause, future determines present. Let's start. For centuries, it has been thought that time is linear and positive because the seconds add up. But a group of Canadian scientists has shown that the clock can turn backwards. Researchers from the University of Toronto have managed to measure negative time after observing photons leaving a material before entering it. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that future observations can influence the behavior of particles in the present. This suggests that our present is influenced by what we want to achieve in the future, reversing the traditional idea of cause and effect. That is, that the future occurs before the past, and that the effect precedes the cause. This discovery gives a valuable clue. Let's make a magnificent future happen right now. Let's ask our ascended future self to help us in the present by following the laws of quantum physics. Philosophy. Negative time is a quantum phenomenon in which certain events seem to occur in a reverse order than expected, where the effect precedes the cause. In more technical terms, it refers to situations in which the transit time of a particle or signal through a medium appears to be negative. This aligns with the philosophical idea that events are guided by future goals. It could imply that the future is already set and that our present actions are predetermined steps toward that utopian future we all desire. To improve the present by evoking the future, set clear goals, create an action plan that brings you closer to your goals, and imagine what your life will be like when you achieve your goals. Practice mindfulness to stay aware of how your present actions align with your future goals. Cultivate a growth mindset. Maintain a positive attitude. Practice gratitude and dedicate time and resources to your personal and professional development. Demonstration. A group of researchers from scientific institutions in Canada and Australia found for the first time evidence demonstrating the existence of a strange quantum phenomenon known as negative time after conducting a groundbreaking experiment, Scientific American reports. Quantum physicist Ephraim Steinberg explains that if a quantum clock were built to measure the time that atoms spend in an excited state, the clock's hand would move backwards in certain circumstances instead of forwards. This demonstrates the mysterious nature of the quantum realm and suggests that negative transit time has more physical significance than previously thought. These findings suggest that photons can exist in a superposition in states, that is, simultaneously experience different states. This quantum superposition manifests itself in that these particles can produce a positive and negative value in time. Time is a physical magnitude that allows a sequence of events to be ordered, establishing a past, a present, and a future, and whose international unit is the second. But what would happen if we could travel from the present to the past? Travel through time is a concept of moving forward or backward at different points in time, similar to how a displacement is made in space. In addition, some interpretations of time travel suggest the possibility of travel between realities or parallel universes. Pearls. Inner alchemy. In this period of extreme outer chaos, it is very important that we strengthen our connection with our true higher self. Prepare for anything, because the wait is over. We are not just witnesses to history. We are about to be part of the greatest revolution the world has ever seen. The storm is here, and we will rise. The true test of someone's character is how he behaves under fire. The outside wants to take away your freedom of speech, which is the cornerstone of democracy. Operations Disclosure by Thinker 2. Anarchy is not chaos or unrest, as they would have us believe. It is when people behave in such a lawful manner that a nanny state is not desired. Minor solar storm. Minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are forming after a coronal mass ejection impact on October 5th. The arrival time was predicted correctly, but its size was not. The impact was much weaker than expected, hence the minor storm. However, sky watchers at high latitudes should be alert for auroras at night. Financial reset. The world is on the verge of an economic renaissance, a revolution that will redistribute wealth and transform society in ways we are only just beginning to understand. Max era. Several banks will be making some updates throughout the rest of the month and the first week of November. Many of you are also receiving messages from your banks. Maybe this is it. We are about to enter a recovery phase with the introduction of the new treasury dollar, which will pay dividends because it has real wealth assets backing it. This shift will dramatically increase our purchasing power. At a time when the BRICS bloc is increasing its opposition to Western hegemony, one expert has pointed out that the dollar is probably reaching the end of the road. In fact, the currency has faced a growing de-dollarization movement on a global scale. Humanity will prevail, but those who do nothing are slowing it down. Absolute madness is on the way. The globalist bankers are not going to let their money train be derailed without a fight. Cliff High tells us about a major event that will occur in the coming months and will have a global impact 30 times greater than September 11. Economy. Food prices register their highest increase in 18 months according to the UN. China and Russia are the largest gold producers amid the historic rise. Global mass demand could grow to 5.7 trillion cubic meters by 2050. USA. Floods and the government's lack of response are awakening the world. Shock in the US over Biden and Harris' decision to give $750 to victims of Hurricane Helene. At the same time, they give $2,500 to illegal immigrants and billions to Zelensky. What did the US offer Israel in exchange for not attacking Iran? According to an Israeli channel, the White House is trying to soften Tel Aviv's retaliation in exchange for a compensation package. Businessman Elon Musk believes that policies of the Democratic Party will lead to the end of the US. On the social networks, Musk redacted a post by the user Doge Designer, who stated that members of the Democratic Party are rewriting the rules to win, in quotes. They are pushing to legalize anything for power. Imagine the disaster it would be for the US to become a socialist one-party state if they manage to win these elections, the Post says. Europe. Europe more harmed than China. Will it impose tariffs on electric cars? Berlin asks the European Commission not to unleash a trade war against China. Maugen, France's oldest accordion maker, files for bankruptcy. A NATO member state vows to block Ukraine's accession. Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico will not allow Ukraine to become a NATO member because it could lead to a global conflict. Americas. More than 230,000 affected by Hurricane John in southwestern Mexico. Possible formation of Tropical Storm Christy puts the Mexican Pacific on alert. The Mexican National Guard takes over security in Culiacan and relieves the military command. The head of the American Army defends military participation in the construction of civil works. A survey shows that informality covers more than half of employees in Mexico. The mint, a century-old instrument in Argentina, the house of coin, house of money, Casa de la Moneda, a century-old instrument of Argentina that Milei wants to close. Gustavo Petro plans to declare a water emergency in Bogotá. From crisis to self-sufficiency. A discovery of natural gas changes Colombia's prospects. 68% of Venezuelans plan to leave the country, from which 9 million have already left. Ecuador suspends the tax on the import and sale of electric generators. Lima is becoming unsafe with extortions to drivers armed merchants. Cuba denounces an increase in the arms race that endangers world peace. The social networks will ask to resume operations in Brazil after paying its outstanding fines. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.